Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Welcome back to All Things Niqab, where we cover almost everything.
Everything.
We are back from the break, and as promised, we have another topic on schedule for today, and that's in regards to Muslim sisters being in the media, whether it be it on television, radio, social media, because if you're going to say media, you might as well bring them all. And we're discussing this topic because we are going on the media. Our hope is to get this globally, right? But in the meantime, we have people that might think that we're not doing the correct thing. So, what have we come up with? I mean, in our research, have we found any fatwas, hadiths, anything in the Sharia discussing women being in the media?
Well, for me, when I was doing the research, I looked up, of course, the mother of the believers, Aisha radiallahu anha, who I would technically call the first woman in Islam to be part of the media because she was the reporter, and all the companions used to come to her. Even the women of the Ummah of that time used to come to her about feminine problems, and she'll go through Rasulullah and ask. So she was always the front line in knowing about the rights of women and speaking about Islam in a general term. Even with Abu Bakr and Omar being Khalifas, if they had a question or confused about something, they went to Aisha. So I would say that for me, like, it's always been part of history. Even the greatest imams, the four imams, one of them or all of them had like a female teacher. So women has always been in the forefront when it came to Islam. I don't know what happened and the time has changed where it's like now women are in the back and then men are speaking on behalf of women.
But I think that's been around since even the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam was around. And I'm saying that because he was so adamant, even in his last khutbah, to preach to take care of women. And the Quran, when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling men, he's not saying specifically Muslim men. He's saying men are the protectors and the providers of women. He was very adamant about protecting women. And even Aisha radiallahu anha was one of the founders of making sure that women's rights in marriage, in ownership, in inheritance. I mean, even there's some Quranic verses that are based on her behavior in dealing with making sure that women were protected and provided for. So I understand because, Aisha, when you're talking about voices, remember, nobody knew what her actual voice sounded like. She always changed it up. She was always behind something. She was always in some type of niqab, or some type of screen. So what have you found out, Carisha?
Well, in my research, the first thing I thought about was, in order to be a woman in media, you would have to have some knowledge. So what does Islam think about being educated, obtaining knowledge? And the first person that I came up with as a woman was Aisha. May Allah be pleased with her. Because she was educated. And it was to the point, like you said, even in the Prophet ﷺ time, you had to look at the fact that he had to tell people that Aisha could tell them, that Aisha could teach them. He had to let people know that they could take it from her.
Yes.
And the way she studied him and the way she wrote the hadiths, the way she did everything, she had to be a woman of knowledge. She had to be a woman that in that time, that would be media, because she was there and she told. It was their version of what we consider media today. And obtain in regard to Islam.
Say that last line again.
Obtaining knowledge at a very high level in Islam.
That's correct.
Yeah.
So in order to obtain that knowledge, what does Allah want you to do with that knowledge? Does he
Right.
want you to hold it inside of you and not share it?
Right.
And then when you look beyond that, how Islam teaches us as women that we are the first teachers
That's
of our
right.
children, of our nieces, of our nephews, of our cousins. We're the first teachers to help someone.
Exactly.
And in order for us to be teachers, we have to obtain knowledge. And a teacher is someone who's in the media, whether it's in a classroom,
Mm-hmm.
whether it's in a book.
Mm-hmm.
So in reality, there's always been women in the media, just not what we formally see as media.
That's correct.
I agree. You know what? Just to cap on that, I also think when we talk about Aisha radiallahu anha, is how she did it. Like you mentioned, Aisha, that she spoke behind the veil. So I think when it comes to women in the media, as a Muslimah, we have to make sure that we obtain that level of how she did things.
Yes.
Like I've always
Yes.
seen YouTubers. I'm not knocking anyone, but I see YouTubers, you know, Muslim sisters and YouTubers, and their beauty is exposed. And I'm thinking, yes, you have that right to be in the media and you want to show and you want to share, but at the same time, we have to kind of follow what our mother of Islam did.
Yes.
So
What bothers me is when the sisters, like the sisters that we do follow, like I know there's one sister by the name of Amina Kin, I think her name is. I'm not sure. I totally forgot about her. But like in 2012, when I first took Shahada, she was the one that taught me how to style my hijab. And she was very covered. She was very modest, and everything. And she developed a whole business behind it. And I really admired her for that. But the thing that I don't like is that when people do get into that spotlight, then slowly but surely the hijab or niqab starts backing off. All of
Yes.
a sudden, you know, they want to do the style that shows the neck, but the hair is covered, you know.
a
And
little bit of baby hair coming out of that.
yeah, the baby hair, you know, the edges gotta be seen.
Or
But
the neck.
but but when they're doing that, they're forgetting to bring up the hadith that every strand that is seen is a form of fornication or adultery, no matter which way you want it. Every strand. Okay, so it's like when you see those brothers see their wives and you see them tucking their hijab in, they're even my sons do it to me. If we're in the store, they'll tuck the, you know, I don't see my sideburns coming out, and they're tucking it in because they understand the gravity of that. It is not something to be this is not something to be taken lightly. The woman period is not something to be taken lightly. We've started wars just because someone sewed the hem of their dress up a little bit further. We started a whole war about that. It was just that. You understand? So it's important to protect the women, but at the same time, you're not supposed to oppress them. And if all the knowledge that you have from Islam is coming from one or two people, and they also don't know the knowledge, it is a potential of bad information that's going to go around. So it's very important that we have voices out there, that sisters that are in these remote places or are listening to people that are telling them the wrong things, that they can hear somebody that is like them, believes what they believe in, looks like them. Not talking about skin color, but they can see that we are Muslimas. They can see that we're serious about being a Muslim. And they know that I hope they know, because of our reputation, that we are here to help them with their deen and and walk in this trial together. Let's bring Aisha radiallahu anha had over 2,200 hadiths
Yes.
are attributed to her. 2,200.
Yes.
I think there's only one other scholar. I think there's only one or two other scholars that has more hadiths than she does. Okay. I forget who it was. Do you guys remember?
Bukhari?
I believe it was Bukhari.
I think it's Bukhari.
I have to look it up. I'll look it up, but I believe it was Bukhari. I know that she's like second or third of how many hadiths are out there. But I know for a fact that over 2,200 are hers. That I know.
Just think about that. Like, even if we're talking about being in social media, Aisha radiallahu anha, who's gone, that she's still in the media.
Yes.
Yeah. And we're still talking about her. So that lets you know her presence, her knowledge base, how she talked and everything that she did, for it to still be spoken today. How many people do we remember that passed away 5-10 years ago?
That's correct.
Who were adults in our life.
Yes.
And for her to still be someone we look up to and we talk to, it says a lot about her and a woman's role.
Yes.
And that we can teach, we can be out there, we can have a voice, but it's the way we do it.
Plus, it's a form of dawah. I mean, to tell you the truth, if you're going by the fundamentalists, that you would stay in your home. We are obligated to do dawah. Okay, we are obligated, and even just dressing as a covered Muslima is a form of dawah. Yes, but you're gonna have to talk to people. And if you want to give dawah to as many people as you can for the barakahs or whatever, whether it's selfish or unselfish, you have to do dawah outside of your comfort zone. Outside, you've got to reach those people that really don't. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said by the time judgment day comes, there's not a corner on earth that will not know about Islam. You will hear it some kind of way, and it's true, whether it's about 9/11 right now with the COVID and trying to figure out the Chinese Muslims and the Muslims over here and the Muslims over there. Every corner knows about Muslims, whether they have an Iranian or a wrong view of us or a right view. They know about Islam. But let's go out there and show them what true Islam is.
Exactly. In order to show them that, you have to look at the examples. Because what if I create my example of Islam? Then Nadia creates her example of Islam. Then Aisha creates her level of Islam. That's not Islam.
Right.
That's our own personal opinions or thoughts for the views of what we think Islam is. And that's, as Muslims, our opinions don't matter.
Exactly.
Yeah. I tell people that all the time, and it doesn't matter the subject. There was somebody I was talking to 2 days ago, and they were talking about the difference between, and I know this is almost off subject, but it's not really, a talaq, a kula, and a widowed sister. And if the marriage wasn't consummated, and he thought everybody had to wait 4 months and 10 days. He was telling his wife that, the wife that wanted to divorce him. He was telling us that. He was, so I'm sure he told more people, and it was wrong.
Yeah, that's wrong.
And it was absolutely wrong. And I was like, what happened? Did she die? I was like, are you a widow? What's going on? And he was like, no, it's 4 months. And I was like, first of all, it's not based on months for that. It's based by her menses cycle. Like I said, I know sisters that got a kula and 2 days later they got their menses, And Ida was over. She's done.
Yeah.
I mean,
Done.
there's nothing else you can do. So that kind of information, if we don't have people that genuinely have intentions to do good, be out there and give the information, the bad information is going to spread. It's already spreading. So
Right.
we want to stop the spread. We want to give the correct representation. And for us, it is developing or letting everyone know the culture of the American Muslim. Okay. And it's totally different from those that are in Saudi Arabia and Africa, even Canada, or now in Mexico. They're getting their numbers are going up in Mexico as
Yes.
Muslims are concerned. But it's important that the correct message is out. So
Yeah.
just as a reminder to all of those, this is not the rumor report. This is not the backbiting report. This is not anything like that. We're not taking none of that. We are here to support and encourage in the correct manner. And if we do something wrong, alhamdulillah, tell us. You can message us at allthingsniqab@gmail.com, or you can go to our social media pages, which is on Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, and they're all under at All Things Niqab. We'll be
You also
right
can
back.
leave a comment below.
Pardon me?
You can also leave a comment, like, and share below.
Yes, and like, comment, share. Like, comment, share. Share it to everybody, because I'm sure this is a message that everybody wants to get out. So right now we are going on another break, and this segment of All Things Niqab is sponsored by
See Fit and Wellness, where your fitness goals are delayed, not denied. Servicing women's health since 2003. They can be reached at cfitandwellness@gmail.com.
Alhamdulillah. We'll be right back.